Welcome back to Game Pass Picks, the series that highlights some of the best games on Xbox Game Pass right now. Today we're looking at Wolfenstein: The New Order, the first in the new line of Wolfenstein games from developer MachineGames and publisher Bethesda. The game retails for $19.99 outside of Game Pass and is only available on Xbox One's Game Pass. And now for a short and to-the-point review of the game so you can decide if this is the game for you. Wolfenstein: The New Order starts in the year 1946 as the Allied forces are mounting a desperate raid on a Nazi compound to capture or kill the infamous General Death's Head. Right off the bat, anyone with any knowledge of World War II will know that this isn't our timeline, as the Nazis were supposed to surrender in 1945. This becomes even more apparent when you start seeing things like jet engine fighter planes and mechanical war dogs that are the size of lions. Yes, in this timeline, General Death's Head has been manufacturing futuristic war tech to advance the Nazi war machine far past the Allies, and you are on a mission to stop him. You play as William J. Blazkowicz, the iconic protagonist of the entire Wolfenstein series, who has a personal score to settle with Death's Head and is a one-man Nazi-killing machine. He isn't all brawn, though. Blazkowicz is surprisingly introspective and thoughtful as we hear his thoughts in cutscenes and occasionally during gameplay.
Are you lazy or wee roasted? This is a war, not a fucking Sunday church walk. Come on.
A good team. Like father and son.
Upon landing, you begin to familiarize yourself with Wolfenstein's excellent gunplay and overall combat system. Wolfenstein: The New Order operates on a model very similar to games like Doom, Quake, and well, Wolfenstein, where you're given a variety of different weapons to use at your discretion. While the game almost always sets you up to go in guns blazing, you are also presented with a second option, which is to sneak around and eliminate the high-ranking officers in order to avoid having to deal with reinforcements. I personally don't see having to kill more Nazis as a punishment, so I opt to go in guns blazing, usually with a gun in each hand. Yep, Wolfenstein lets you dual-wield most of the weapons in this game, and it's as fun as it looks. As far as the combat goes, MachineGames had an excellent first outing with this game. My only gripe with the combat system is how grenades work. You have to select grenades just like you would any other weapon, which leads the player to not use them as much, as it can leave you wide open for an attack. Wolfenstein: The New Order has possibly one of the most intriguing stories that I have ever played in a first-person shooter. This is impossible to talk about without giving away some minor spoilers, so spoiler warning, but you've had like 5 years, so whatever. This was all over the game's marketing, and just the name gives it away, so I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that the bulk of this game takes place after the failed assault on Death's Head's compound, which results in the Nazis winning World War II. Due to a coma, you come to in the year 1960, long after the Nazis have conquered the entire world, and is now your job to try and reignite the flame of resistance. You can find newspaper clippings and letters scattered about which serve to help build this world into something that is actually believable. Throughout the game, you are just shown what the world would look like under Nazi occupation, and is a chilling look at what the world would have been like had things gone a little differently. While the game is a lot of fun, there are some odd choices that serve to harm the overall experience. My biggest gripe lies in the weapon selection wheel. This was kind of a janky solution that was implemented, as obviously a gamepad doesn't have a straight line of numbers to map weapons to. While some games will pause gameplay or at least slow it down when using a wheel system like this, Wolfenstein keeps moving at a normal speed even when you have the wheel open. Couple this with the right stick being a little too sensitive, and we have a situation where you may end up selecting the wrong thing in the heat of battle, which can be quite irritating. Second is the health and armor system. This can just boil down to preference, but Wolfenstein does use a rather old system of picking up health packs and armor. Health does somewhat regenerate, but it's not a system like Halo or Call of Duty, and it can be a bit of a pain when you're trapped behind cover with no way of getting more health. Even when you're not trapped, you're stopping combat to scavenge for health and armor, which does slow down the pace. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but it does feel old for a current generation game. Overall, in a world where your time is valuable and the games can take hours to download, Wolfenstein: The New Order is 100% worth your time. The gunplay is fantastic, the story is one of the best I've ever seen in a first-person shooter, and the voice acting is also excellent as a side note. There's more than enough to like here despite its flawed weapon selection and health and armor system. If you like this video, then please feel free to leave a comment down below, and please consider giving the video a like, or you can subscribe if you want to see more Game Pass picks in the future. Until then, happy gaming, and I will see you next time.